Hello and welcome to SuperNaturalSyndicate.com. My name is Zubs.
And I'm Crypto. I want to welcome everybody to another episode tonight of SuperNaturalSyndicate.com. And let's just get right into it. The very first topic today is going to be a haunted mirror that sells for $155 on eBay. Now, I don't know what to think about this. How can you buy something that you think is haunted? First of all, there's plenty of things that can be quote unquote haunted, but a mirror. Now, I don't know what you've heard, Zubs, but in the past, I've heard of like black mirrors, which look like a tinted mirror, basically, and witches use them or something. What do you think about this whole haunted menagerie of antiques?
Well, if it was me and I thought it was haunted, wouldn't you just break it or just throw it away or something?
I don't know. I'd have 7 years of bad luck.
Yeah, that's true. I
Haunted bad luck.
think, yeah, I just think this is just a way to try to get someone to pay $155 for a mirror.
Now, I
Um,
just I just got on eBay and I looked up haunted stuff, and most of them are dolls. I'm
but
afraid
no,
of
no one wants
dolls.
to buy a haunted doll. Dolls are creepy.
Yeah,
Um,
especially those Cabbage Patch Kids.
yeah.
I don't like them.
It says on here on this article that they claimed that the mirror was haunted after they pulled it out of a dumpster and they uh, have been woken up by hearing screams and seeing shadows and having giant red deep scratches all over their body. I don't know if that is a lesson on garbage picking or, you know, I don't know
That's
if they're
what I would
saying,
say.
yeah.
I mean, I don't go in the dumpster. I don't go dumpster diving. Um, I've known family that's done it. They've pulled out some really neat things. But here's my personal take on this stuff. Everything in my house I've bought from a store. I don't, if someone gives me a hand me down, I hand it right back
Because
because
it could carry like the
I'm
soul of the lost
superstitious,
child.
man. Yeah, I don't want to say, "Oh yeah, I love this old wooden book," and it goes flying off the shelf and hits me in the side of the head every time I walk by it. I don't need that stress in my life.
Yeah, well, who makes a book out of wood? Well, I guess every book is technically made out of wood because it's
There you
paper.
go.
Well, anyways,
Kind of threw you off there, didn't I?
yeah, all right. um, all right, well, our next topic is black-eyed kids and, insidious
What is
threat,
this?
black-eyed kids.
I love that band, man. It's like scream and shout, let it all out.
Well, no, black-eyed kids, not the black-eyed peas. Fergie's
Oh,
not involved in this.
oh, well, that would have made it even worse, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyways, since you don't know what the Black Eyed Kids are, they showed up in an article back in 1998. It was a journalist named Brian Bethel, and apparently, two boys approached him while he was sitting in his parked car. He described the kids as, you know, olive-skinned kids. The boys asked for a ride home, explaining that they were on their way to the movies, but had forgotten their money. Bethel claimed that he was overwhelmed with adrenaline, that flight or fight sense or whatever,
Yeah.
and but he was like tempted by the boys to allow entrance into the vehicle. He resisted the urge, which only seemed to make the boys upset, who grew more and more adamant that they be allowed inside the car. It was then when he noticed that they had coal black eyes.
Now, wait a
And
minute. They became adamant to get inside the car. What I want to know, what were they doing? Were they like trying to get in and he was like forcing them out? Kind of like a,
well, they kept asking for permission to be allowed inside the car, but he wouldn't let them.
mm.
Um,
And so what did these children of the corn do?
well, no one really knows. No one supposedly really let them in. Now, um, like we don't know. They just want inside your house or your car, or but no one lets
Yeah.
gives them permission because it's almost like some kind of mind control or something like that. It's kind of like in the movies or books where the vampires can't enter your house unless you
Yeah.
give them permission. But right before you give them permission, you notice that they have these coal black shark eyes, and they panic and shut the door and tell them to leave or whatever. And they hang around for a while and nothing really happens. Now, we don't know what these are. We don't know if they're demons or vampires or alien hybrids or whatever they are. I mean,
See, and this is weird because this is the first time I've ever heard of this today. Um, and one thing I want to point out to all of our listeners that if you guys have any experiences like this, or if you want to share anything with us, you can go on our website at supernaturalsyndicate.com, contact us, tell us your story, put a link on the internet, hopefully something that doesn't have a virus in it, and, show us like what you see, something you may have recorded if you'd like for us to interview you. I didn't want to cut you off, Subs, but I just wanted to,
yeah.
I want to plug ourselves, that's what we got to do.
Now, okay, here's a quick encounter with a woman named, we're going to call her Adelie. I was sitting in my bedroom reading a book when about 11 p.m. I heard a knocking, a slow, constant knocking. I got up out of bed to see what it was. I looked out the window, and to my surprise, I saw two children. I opened the window and asked them what they wanted at this time of night. They replied by simply saying, "Let us in." I said no, and I asked, "What for?" "We want to use your bathroom." I was quite shocked that children of about 10 years of age wanted to use a stranger's bathroom at this time of night. I told them no. I closed the window, but I looked at them through the glass. I glanced at their eyes, and I have never ever seen eyes like them. They were black, completely black. I got the feeling of evil and unhappiness. It surrounded me. It was horrible. So that's the first part of the story. Now that is kind of weird that they would ask for such a strange request. I mean, just use the bathroom. Um, I could understand like use your phone or I'm lost, I need help. It's
Yeah.
like they don't know how to they don't know how to like socialize with people. They don't like, and that's just so strange.
This could be, and here I'm going off on a tangent, as usual, but this could be like those interdimensional space aliens. I truly believe in that. And these are like, they could probably be a different size than humans. Not everything's got to be a, 5, 6 foot tall, bipedal humanoid, but they take the shape of these things. Maybe they can't clone our eyes. Maybe they're black. They just got black eyes. I mean, we see a lot of alien pictures. They all got black eyes, you know. And what's the saying? The eyes are the windows to the soul. I mean, these are very dark creatures or beings. We don't know what they are. They're speculations.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and read the second part of the story. I couldn't take my eyes off their pitch black eyes. It was like they were sucking me in. I felt horrible and was suddenly frightened for my life, like I needed to immediately take cover. They just stared at me with those eyes. I took a quick look up and down the walkway to see if, well, sorry about that. I stepped into another one. This was actually a story about a Marine who they were at his camp for some reason,
Oh,
or at his base for some reason. They showed up. I turned back to looked up and down the walkway to see if there were any other Marines were out there, but there was nobody in sight. I turned back to the kids who I noticed had taken a step forward toward me. I had the feeling like I was being hunted, like these kids were predators out for their next meal or something. Instinct gave way to reason, and I decided to listen to that voice, and I shut the door and locked it. Um,
hmm.
so
I
there, I
mean, this
mean,
is a military guy.
yeah, this is military. This is Marine. Some one of the,
Yeah,
this guy's trained in combat and
yeah.
everything.
They're supposed to kill and love it. You know. I
Yeah.
mean, for him to be scared, I don't know. I mean,
Then you got,
that goes back to the whole doll thing.
yeah, right.
Scary dolls, scary kids.
Now, there's a couple different theories on what they are. They could be vampires. It's the whole, they've got to be invited into your house before they can do anything. And if you're a
Seems to be the
child
case.
vampire, You would act like, if you need to feed and you would want to be in to someone's house and you need to be invited, you would ask like you need help or something like that, I guess.
Why don't they just
There's
wait till the people leave? Like, I mean, you got to go outside your house sometime, go to
Well,
work,
maybe because it's
go
out
to
in
the
the open
store.
or something, and there could be witnesses.
Oh,
I don't know. There's the human alien hybrid theory, and really that comes from there's a theory that aliens, when they abduct people, they take sperm and eggs from the
the abducted.
abductees, and
Yeah.
they do some type of DNA genetic experiments with it, and you come up with hybrids. And really, the only thing they base that off of is the eyes, because they have, the solid black eyes similar to
Yeah.
Gray's. Um, and there is lots of claims of, alien human hybridization
Yeah.
going on
There's
in
like
abduction
50,
reports.
there's like 56 different types of aliens, is what I've heard at one point off of a video. Um, that's going off into something else, but
Yeah.
yeah, 56 different kinds of alien species that the government knows about. Some of them are integrated into society, and some of these are hybrids. That could be the case. I could see where that.
Another theory is that they're like some type of ghosts or, like lost spirits, of children, like wandering the earth seeking help from adults, but because we sense something's wrong with them, we shut the door in their face, which is kind of sad, but also they're creepy ghosts, so
Yeah,
I don't blame people for shutting doors. And then there's the demon hoax, or not hoax, but demons theory.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's some scary stuff, man.
which if it's a demon, it's like the a demon in the form of a child or something like that, so on and so forth. Which I guess I could see. That's a possibility if all that exists. And then there's the
It could
hoax
be a
theory.
hoax. Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah,
could be fake.
which basically is, someone made up this story and people just started making up more stories because they thought it was neat, which does happen. So, but what has happened? This was posted up on the internet, and it's just since 1998 has caught on like wildfire. And it's just spread all over the internet, and there's tons of stories and encounters. Now, the big thing about black-eyed children or black-eyed kids
Oh, okay.
is that no one's let them in.
Oh, yeah, because then
And
you would never hear from him again, probably.
right now, here is a story of a person who supposedly let black-eyed kids into their home. And let me just pull it up here. This is what happened. I was sitting in my bedroom when I heard a knock on the door. It was not too late, so I didn't hesitate opening the door to whoever it was. They opened it, and there was two children standing there, both looking at the floor. Yes, I said. The taller one asked me if they could come in as they were lost and the other boy needed the toilet. I live in an area where it is very easy to get lost, so I just assumed that they were telling the truth and was looking down because they were shy, even though the one talking spoke very confidently. So I let them in, and the one who needed the toilet just walked in and straight up the stairs. So I shouted up, "It's on the right." I don't know why I didn't find this strange, but most toilets are upstairs. And he was young, and I didn't think anything of it.
Hmm.
I told the other one that the phone was down the hall. "Thanks," he said, and he started to walk down the hall. I followed him, and when I suddenly came over with a really awful feeling, like something bad was going to happen. I became very nervous and a bit shaky. I still can't explain how that happened. The boy stopped at the phone and paused. "Everything okay?" I asked. He turned to me and looked up, and that's when I saw his eyes. And trust me, I will never get that picture out of my head. I was so scared that I couldn't even scream. As I turned to run down the hall, the other kid was standing at the end. I became very dizzy and struggled to stand up. He walked closer to me and said that he had been sent to collect me. I still couldn't bear to look into his face. I pushed away from him and ran into my front room and slammed the door shut. I was in so much shock about what was happening, I couldn't think straight. This is something that you don't even expect to happen even in movies. After standing against the door for around an hour or so, I finally got the courage to make a run for the back door. So I ran to it, and unlocked it. I ran to the back of my garden and jumped over the fence, not once looking back. My friend lived close, so I ran to his house and I told him the story, and, as I guessed, he was a bit skeptic about what I said. Convinced him to come back with me. When we got where there, we looked around the whole house but couldn't find them. Ever since this happened, I've always have a dream that the kids with black eyes stand over my bed with their hands stretching to me. I hope to God that I never see these again.
Ooh, yeah.
So I don't know. It's just it sounds like now whether this is a hoax or not. The whole collect now. There's two. I have two different ideas on that. If you're
Okay.
there to collect somebody, that could be an alien abduction thing where they're collecting and someone to abduct.
Yeah.
Collect to abduct and whatever aliens do, probe you or
Yeah.
whatnot. And then the other one is collect as in demon, as in collect your soul or something
Mm.
along those lines. It's still one of those anomaly, that we don't know where to put it. Is it, a demon, a ghost, an alien, or a vampire, whatever. But
Yeah.
this is the only story I've ever seen where someone let the black-eyed kids into their house. Everyone else, um, they don't let them into the house. They shut the door last second. So I don't know. It's almost like
Now,
that.
I wonder what happened to this person.
Apparently nothing. They just have some nightmares sometimes.
I mean, did the kids eventually left?
I guess. I mean, she made it out of the house and jumped the fence and ran to her friend's house. So,
Huh.
and then they came back later, but apparently she locked them into one section of the house and for like an hour before she built up the courage to like run to the back door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
um
Interesting.
yeah. Um
Wow. I mean, I don't know. I mean, with aliens, you always hear the movies and the stories, and you read the reviews of these people that get abducted, and they don't remember a whole lot. It's almost like going into surgery. You get put
mhm.
out. You don't remember leaving the house. You don't remember being put back in the house. You kind of remember seeing some things or hearing some things, but that's about it. Um,
Yeah.
so, I mean, but like I said, if this is a different species of alien or something,
I'm getting more of
along
like
those
a
lines,
demonic vibe or
yeah,
something along
I'm
those
feeling, yeah,
because like and if it was an alien, they wouldn't need permission to enter your house. I mean,
no,
and with the demonic, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if demons actually exist, but if they
yeah,
do exist, you always hear that demons have to follow a code or rules or something, and maybe their rules is they have to, be invited in.
it's
Um,
possible.
and then they're there to collect. I mean, I don't not sure what that means, whether it means abduct or collect a soul or
Yeah,
whatever. But that woman got out. But I mean, with the story, it's always the same that they have to gain permission to get inside the house. They can't do
yeah.
anything unless they get permission. So,
If we ever hear of anything like that locally, because you're up there in Cincinnati, I'm down here in Louisville, and we're if we hear anything close, I mean, I'll be there, man. I'll have my video camera and I'll find something, you
yeah.
know. I mean, it's just one of those things where I need to be able to see it.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I mean, yeah, I love these kind of stories, but I want to show the public, you
Mhm.
know. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with this. There's no video evidence. There's no one, and in a world where everyone's got a smartphone with a camera on it, there's no one taking snapshots of these kids or whatever. So until then, we don't know because there's no evidence.
yeah,
Um, another story I wanted to cover is we've got a. I don't know if this is paranormal or if this is cryptozoology or what, but over in the UK they've got the Beast of Tenby. Now, apparently there was a man named Peter Bailey who was walking his dog on the beach, and this is his story. I was taking my dog for her evening walk across the South Beach when she started acting out of character by howling and running around in circles. Bailey told the Western Telegraph, "I ran up to see her, and if she was okay. Then I came across this hideous-looking carcass. I could see it had little hair left on it, its decomposing body. Immediately, I thought it was a horse, but it had claws like a bear and a body of a pig. Surprisingly, it didn't smell." Now, there's a picture of this thing, and you've seen it.
Yeah.
It does look like it has a horse head, but he's right. It does have
Well,
paws like a bear or something like that.
it
Um,
looks like a weird dog to me.
that's
It
the
looks
thing.
very
It's
canine.
right. That's the thing. This is a carcass that's washed up. When something decomposes in water, it decomposes differently than on land, and this isn't the first case of some people seeing something they think it's a cryptid or something like that, a cryptid's
Yeah.
body. This is probably something very, very normal. Some people are thinking it's a badger. It could be a dog. We don't know, but it's just odd. Now, there's a few other ones that from around the world that are crazy
Yeah.
looking. The
One
most
of,
famous one of recent years is the Panama creature, which looks alien if you look at the picture. It's smooth skin,
mm,
elongated arms, claws for hands, and and just crazy. And these kids uh, claimed that they were down there in Panama and they had to like throw rocks at it and kill it because it was coming at them. And then they took pictures of it and then they threw the body in the river. And but if you look at it, um, people have theorized that it's actually a decomposing sloth. That it
that's
was,
exactly what it is.
yeah,
I remember this story. It's been about a year or two, and they did. There were some investigations. It was a sloth.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just, but I mean, you look at it, you don't see a sloth there. It's just
Yeah.
because of the way it decomposed in the water.
Right.
Um,
They say it was a disease that caused it to lose its fur.
like it had
Um,
mange or something.
yeah, and they said it was really sick. It was on like a riverbank or something like that.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, yeah, if it was that deranged and sick, it could have lashed. I don't know how dangerous sloths are. I mean, you see people holding them; they don't look too angry or have a bad demeanor about them at all. But if it had rabies or it was deranged or something in that anyway, we could just assume that it might have been
Well,
had some issues.
the story about the kids killing it with a rock could have been made up. They just found the corpse, took some pictures to, and made up
Yeah.
the story, just trying to make themselves sound brave or whatever.
Oh yeah. Now there's another whole little story that I'd like to get into at this time. It's I've actually posted the video on our website under the video tab, and it talks about a UFO. I put in a little comment there or a title: UFO shoots down a meteor in Russian airspace. Now, if we hit play and then we view it, hang on, let me put it on mute because it's on my headset, pretty loud. Now, immediately there's this guy driving, okay, and then you see this big meteor. It's really spectacular. Then it shows something flying into the meteor or in front of the meteor or behind the meteor. You can't really tell because it's so far away. All of a sudden, when it goes close enough to it, pieces of the meteor begin to break away. And
Hmm.
then you see the object reappear from the right side, head away from it a short distance, and then stop and pause in midair. So if it was some sort of, when I say UFO, don't necessarily think it's an alien. It's just an unidentified, flying vehicle. Um, it could have been something American, but anyway, or it could have been something, I should say, human. Um, Went through, stopped. After it started to blast it, there's several repeats, and then you see it go through the air a little further, and then it just explodes. I mean, and it's so bright that the camera just flashes out a little bit. Then the guy's driving, and he looks up in the sky, and you can see the smoke, the fire, the pieces of the meteor everywhere. What I think is really cool about this is it does appear, and in our opinion, that something flew up in close to it, struck it with some sort of missile or some sort of fire attack, and caused that meteor, which could have hit the Earth and done damage, to explode in midair.
Well,
But
the
whatever it
explosion
was,
actually
saved.
did damage because of the shockwave in Russia. Blew
Really?
out like all the windows in the entire area up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the explode the meteorite that exploded over Russia.
Yeah.
And
And this was back in February
right,
when it
right.
happened. But whatever it was, I think it saved us. I think, or at least it saved Russia. Um, you know, Pretty cool.
So, well, I think that's going to cover it for tonight. Remember, folks, you've been listening to SuperNaturalSyndicate.com. I'm Zubs,
And I'm Crypto.
and have a good night.